Game 2, McCade Brown will be on the mound. Full 9 innings we're going to play here in this second game. Griffin Epstein, Stephen Walker. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday afternoon. So we got the rest of this game covered here on BTN+. McCade Brown, the big sophomore righty's first pitch is in there to a strike to the Penn State leadoff batter, Gavin Homer.
Good way to start for McCade Brown, and that's not a good way to follow up with the pitch to the backstop there, but he's coming off of a pretty dominant performance against Rutgers when she struck out 12, only gave up 3 hits, and a Penn State team that didn't really get a lot of hits in that last game. He has the opportunity to have himself a career day here.
1-1, misses low for Brown. Around the diamond, pretty similar for Indiana from Game 1. Jordan Fusey remains at first base. Paul Tate's at second. Grant Muchaki is at shortstop. That's a change. Cole Barr remains at third. And 3-1, another one misses low from Brown. In the outfield, Hunter Jesse in left, Grant Richardson in center, and Sam Murison in right. Drew Ashley, the DH. Chopper to second, and 1 down. Jacob Southern behind the plate for the second straight game as well for Indiana.
Pretty similar start in this game as we saw in the last one, working his way around the leadoff hitter and getting the quick out. Gavin Homer only had 1 hit in that last game, not typical out of their leadoff hitting senior.
Matt Wood steps to the plate for the Lions. Watches the first pitch low. Wood, lefty catcher, playing DH today. Tough challenge against Brown. If he can pitch anywhere like he did in Game 1, you mentioned it, Stephen. It was a really spectacular performance. 7 innings, allowing just 4 base runners, no walks. That one sails a little high. His control doesn't seem as strong to start, and it's been an issue in the past for Brown, and was so impressive last Saturday when he really shut down Rutgers. He didn't have a single walk, 1-hit batter, and just allowed 3 hits over 7 innings.
And you got to wonder how this all the schedule changes were going to affect these players, especially the pitchers, as they're slated to go one day, and then we have a schedule change, and then they're slated to go maybe a different day, and finally just yesterday around 8 p.m. is when we got the official word we would be playing the doubleheader today. So not much turnaround time for McCade Brown to get ready for this game as he allows the 1-out walk.
Yeah, and no walks last Saturday night. This Saturday, there's a walk in the first inning. Brown was slated to pitch on Saturday originally, which might be in part why Justin Parker and Jeff Mercer decided to keep Brown, the big righty, in his Saturday spot, move Gabe Bierman to tomorrow. You can see struggles so far for Brown. Just missing a little bit high with that fastball, which can really pop around 94, 95. Got good amount of scouts behind home plate. You can see a couple of them with their radar guns. Two and 0 from Brown. He walked Wood, who was at first. Homer grounded out to start this one. Brown in his 3rd year out of Normal, Illinois, Normal West High School. And that one gets by Southern, and Wood will chase down to second, no chance. Southern not happy with himself. That's likely go down as a pass ball.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about it in the little Game 1 recap. It was the Penn State mistakes in Game 1 that allowed the Hoosiers to kind of pull away, and that one just off of Southern's glove must have just taken his eyes off it for a second, and it allows Wood to now scamper into second base, takes a double play away, and now you have an RBI chance for Piacentino.
Right between the wickets, so a 3-0 count to Piacentino, and that misses inside. A 4-ball walk from McCade Brown back-to-back, and this so far does not look like the pitcher we saw last Saturday when his control was pretty much impeccable.
It was really spot on, and it looks like we're already going to get a meeting from the
Justin Parker.
Yeah, from Justin Parker's stepping in there, taking over for Coach Mercer. Wish him quick recovery.
And you wonder, Steven, Brown had such a dominant outing last Saturday, but he has struggled in the past for Indiana. 4 appearances last year, only made it through an inning all 4 times, including a couple starts. Had 5 walks. That was a problem his freshman year as well. Is it kind of a mental thing? You have a really good first start, but then trying to follow that up a second time around?
It definitely can be. Coming off of a start, you'd like to think you can just keep it going. Might be just a situation where he kind of doesn't maybe fine-tune everything as much, doesn't practice on certain things because he has such a dominant outing, so he might look at himself and say, I don't need to work on this specific thing because I had it last game. But now we're seeing maybe, the control starting to go away here as he's already given up 2 walks. And now what is mental is how he can, block this out of his mind and just focus on throwing strikes, trying to get out of this quick first inning jam.
Kyle Hannon takes a pitch outside, and 5 straight balls thrown by McCade Brown.
Yeah, Hannon was 0 for 4, hitless in game 1, so he has a chance here to break out of that little funk, get a nice poke base hit, try to score the first run of the game.
Brown's certainly a guy that a lot of MLB teams have their eye on. Perfect Game actually ranked him the number 1 overall prospect in the Big Ten for the 2021 MLB Draft.
And he was also put on the Big Ten players to watch list, so he's got a lot of eyes on him, and some of those scouts behind home plate might be here to look at McCade Brown along with some other Hoosiers, as we saw Summer in game 1, and got a great center fielder out there they could be looking at. But right now, all eyes are on McCade Brown as he's at the center of the action.
Brown trying to get out a little bit of a pickle here in the first inning. Gave up 1 run in that start against Rutgers, a Hoosier victory, 4-2 for the Scarlet Knights last Saturday night. Very late start. It was an 8:30 first pitch in Minneapolis, a little bit earlier today. Second game of a doubleheader. That fastball badly misses. 2-2.
Yeah, spiked. That one looked like he was just trying to do too much with the breaking ball and get it to break too much, and didn't get his release point quite right, so he skips it. And now, he's in trouble of if he throws this ball away, it's going to be another full count, and he can walk his third batter.
Kyle Hannon, the freshman, awaits the 2-2. And the count is loaded. Jeff Mercer talked about it a couple weeks ago with McCade Brown, and he's taken steps to improve by really controlling his body. And you can understand when you're Brown, you're 6'6", 225 pounds. That's a big man, and he's got a lot of power behind that arm, but being able to learn how to control it and use it is a challenge. And Mercer's really felt he's learned how to do that.
Makes a good competitive pitch there on the 3-2, but Hannon spoils it, so he's got to come back with a good pitch here. And this is a situation where if you're Hannon, I think you're strictly looking for the fastball, because not sure Brown wants to mess around with the breaking ball or the off-speed pitch and, risk Hannon laying off of it and loading the bases.
Another foul away from Hannon and deep into the Bart Kaufman Stadium parking lot. It's a rather pleasant Saturday afternoon. There was some concerns about rain coming in, but no worries. 54 degrees, sun peeking out right now from behind the clouds. Just 5-mile-per-hour winds blowing across the field from first base to third. Third payoff. Swing and a miss, and Brown able to get a big strikeout and a big second out.
Well, it's exactly what I said is Brown relied on the fastball to get him out of trouble once he got the count full. 3 straight heaters. That one looked like he was up and out of the zone, but Kyle Hannon went chasing for it, and that was ball 4 all the way. His eyes got a little bit too big there, seeing the heater come in, and he strikes out in a big spot, and now it's up to Josh Spiegel to capitalize on this early, kind of a jam that they've put Brown in. So
Spiegel, who's had quite the start to his year, went 1 for 4 in the game 1 of today's doubleheader.
Good pitch.
Hit in every game so far this season for the Nittany Lions, transferred from Oklahoma State. Leads the team in hits with 9.
And one of the big power bats in this Nittany Lion lineup, tied for the team lead in home runs. We haven't seen one today, none in game 1, as it was mainly the single show, as Brown puts another off-speed pitch in there. So now goes from relying on the fastball against Hannon to get himself out of it. Now he's thrown 2 straight breaking balls to Spiegel to get himself up 0-2. It looks like he's a little more confident now.
That slider has been in Brown's repertoire a while. Haven't seen much of the curveball yet. He used a lot of that last Saturday against Rutgers. Fastball way out of the zone. Non-competitive pitch there. Brown walked Wood and then followed it up with a 4-ball walk to Piacentino, but a strikeout of Hannon has him 1 out away from getting out of the top of the first. Hoosiers looking for a sweep on day 1 of 2 doubleheaders. Yesterday's games canceled due to IU head coach Jeff Mercer testing positive for COVID-19. Swung on and missed, and Brown with the off-speed able to get out of a shaky top of the first. 2 walks, 2 left stranded, but no damage done in the top of the first. No score. As we head to the bottom of the first, you're watching Big Ten Baseball on BTN+. Hoosiers lead 1-0 in our second game of 2 from Bloomington. IU took the first game, a 7-inning doubleheader opening, 7-2. McCade Brown out for his second inning of work, faces Jay Harry for Penn State. Paul Tate's an RBI double to start things off in the run column for Indiana. Harry shows bunt, but missed it. 0-2. Brown looking like just through 2 pitches, a little bit better control. It was a shaky first inning, Stephen, for a righty that came in with very high expectations considering his first start.
Yeah, and he almost got that pitch on the back door there, just missed. But now he's got himself a lead, so if he can just make some pitches, got out of a little jam in the first. So just get some confident, make some pitches as he gets a good strikeout there.
Harry went around.
If he can keep rolling like that, you know, the Hoosiers, I would imagine the way their offense is rolling, they'll get him some more runs. So if he can just limit any amount of damage, then he'll be in good shape today.
So Justin Williams steps to the plate. Third baseman with 1 out. Brown a fastball right down the middle. Got an opportunity to talk to McCade a little bit earlier this week, which was really nice. Down-to-earth, humble guy. The ground ball to second. There's Tate's 2 away. Brown's not one to talk big. Didn't want to talk about the MLB draft. I was told that was off limits when I was talking to him, even though he's certainly considering the number of scouts, which by my estimates around 15 or so scouts here, he's going to be a high pick likely in the draft in June. First 5 rounds would be my guess. But doesn't want to talk about it. Really just wanted to talk about the team's performance. Was happy he could get the win, and they're 3-1. It's about the team, not I. It's Jeff Mercer's mentality. Parker Hendershot. His first at bat here in Bloomington, didn't play in game 1. He takes 2 pitches high. Junior first baseman, no relationship to Peyton Hendershot, Indiana's tight end on their football team. Big swing and a miss.
Yeah, coming into this game, likely you have to imagine as a defensive substitution for Cole Bartles, who had some struggles in game 1, had himself a pair of errors, and even might have been a third one when there was a pickoff where he wasn't covering first base. Seemed like miscommunication there. So probably in here for the defense, but batting towards the bottom of the lineup. He does have himself a pair of hits so far on the season, one of them being a big fly.
Right down the middle, and Brown works it to a full count. Already 38 pitches. It was a busy first inning for Brown. He was very efficient last weekend in Minneapolis. 7 innings, 92 pitches. Outside corner, ring him up. That looked like McCade Brown at his best in the second inning. The Nittany Lions go 1, 2, 3. On to the bottom of the second. The Hoosiers lead the Nittany Lions 1-0 here on BTN+. Top of the third here at Bart Kaufman Stadium. Hoosiers lead by 1, courtesy of a Paul Tate's RBI double to score Cole Barr in the bottom of the first. McCade Brown has worked 2 clean sheets so far. On to the top of the third here. Had a 1-2-3 second to a shaky first when he walked 2. Curtis Robinson, junior outfielder. 4 hits on the year for the native of Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, outside of Harrisburg. A lot of Pennsylvania natives on the Nittany Lions. Pennsylvania maybe not weather acclimated for baseball. And not an excuse maybe for some of the struggles for the Penn State program, but you got to train inside. You can't play real baseball, especially in Pennsylvania, often until March, April. Some of the other Big Ten teams still playing down south. Haven't played at home yet. As that one's right on the outside corner, strike 3. Well, Tim Caton is making some batters, both Hoosiers and Nittany Lions, unhappy early. Another strike right on the outside corner.
Yeah, good pitch there by McCade Brown. Throws that breaking ball right on the outside corner. Gets the backdoor pitch to retire Curtis Robinson to start off the inning. Pretty decent sized strike zone so far for Tim Caton. Similarly saw in the first game, Daniel Jimenez had himself a pretty decent sized strike zone as well. Doesn't seem like much has changed here in game 2 of the doubleheader.
Gavin Homer back out there for Penn State, top of the order. About 250 family members and scouts are in attendance here at Bart Kaufman Stadium. General public not admitted. Big swing and a miss by Homer. And he strikes out on 3 strikes, 2 down.
Yeah, Brown's really starting to find his rhythm, and I said last inning, he just needs to get a little bit of confidence, and he can just breeze through this Nittany Lion offense. He's doing it so far. 2 quick strikeouts, and he's really got that breaking ball working so far.
First pitch fouled away by Matt Wood. It's interesting to see the contrast from that first inning for Brown when he looked very timid, struggled with his control in these last 2 innings. Penn State has barely touched the ball. Wood quickly in a hole here, 0-2. A strike away from McCade Brown from striking out the side. Just low.
Yeah, I really am liking so far McCade Brown, just the way his presence on the mound after that 0-2 pitch was a ball. It just gets right back on the mound, ready to go back to work.
Jeff Mercer was telling us a couple weeks ago that, or actually he said this a couple years ago, when Brown, maybe wasn't as big of a name, he's the most naturally gifted player I've seen throw. And as I say that, that's a strikeout. It almost looked like it hit Matt Wood. But instead he checked his swing and he went over. A weird sequence there. That will be the end of the top of the third. McCade Brown strikes out the side. 5 out of his last 6 batters he struck out. We'll take another look, see exactly what happened there. No, it bounced off the dirt, and Wood just went across the breaking ball, confusing him. So we'll head to the bottom of the third. Hoosiers lead by 1 here on BTN Plus. Top of the fourth here in Bloomington. Hoosiers lead 1-0, and the continued trend for Indiana of dominant pitching today. IU has not given up more than 2 runs in their first 5 games of the season. Penn State still without a hit today against McCade Brown, who has struck out 5 out of the last 6 batters he's faced. Johnny Piacentino trying to change that. He's quickly in a hole, 0-2.
Yeah, that was a half-hearted swing there by Piacentino. Beautiful breaking ball. McCade Brown's really got that working today. He's gotten a few punch-outs on it, and he's got himself another one right there.
Well, he's starting to make them look silly. Piacentino, a frugal swing, and he's sent back to the dugout to think about something he's going to have to change for next time.
Well,
diving into the dirt.
Yeah, he's had a struggle today. He had one hit in the last game, and it was in the last inning, just to pad your own stats a little bit, and then he reached last time via the free pass. But other than that, he hasn't hit any balls hard really. A couple strikeouts, a flyout. Off to a pretty slow start on his day.
Kyle Hannon takes the first 2 pitches low, 2-0. First time in a while we have seen Brown fall behind. That's what happened in the first inning when he did walk 2. But since then, Penn State without a base runner.
Well, McCade Brown has really flipped the script in this game. You see it right there, right on the outside corner. He's hitting his spots. He's mixing up his pitches really well, using the fastball to get ahead in the count, using the breaking ball to put him away. He's already up to 8 strikeouts. And we're not even through 4 innings of play here at the Bart.
Brown had 12 strikeouts last Saturday night in 7 innings. Got the win in the Hoosiers' 4-2 win over Rutgers. Hoosiers won 3 out of 4 last weekend at US Bank Stadium. That is not the first time we've seen that. It might not be the last. Hannon halfway down to first base, and Tim Canton says, "You get right back in here. Here comes the payoff." Got him right on the outside corner. Nasty stuff from McCade Brown. And 2 strikeouts here in this inning and make it now 7 out of the last 8 batters have struck out.
Beautiful pitch from McCade Brown. That's why he's got 9 already in this game, and that's why he's going to give Tommy Summer a run for his money as ace of the program, as he uses the curveball to get ahead here. But he's just being so dominant with his pitching today. He used the fastball to get back into the count and surprised Hannon there with the off-speed breaking ball to strike him out. Got him looking. McCade Brown is really putting on a pitching clinic right now in this one.
You'd think if anyone can stop it, it's Josh Spiegel, who came into today by far the hottest Nittany Lion batter. The Oklahoma State transfer had just one base hit, though, in the first game today, but trying to keep his 5-game on-base streak to start the season going. Quickly in the hole here, 1-2. Brown trying to strike out the side for the second straight inning.
Yeah, Spiegel's coming into this game with the
1-2. Just missed.
Yeah, just a little high there, but a good pitch by Brown, a good idea. But Spiegel is the guy to snap this streak that McCade Brown is on. He came into this day with almost a 1,900 OPS.
2-2, and just stayed alive, and that one into the dugout. Look out. Looks like everyone's okay in the Cream and Crimson dugout. A couple of red sweaters had to pop out of the way.
Yeah, well, that's what we call the ugly finer back in high school.
2-2, swung on and missed. The Indiana dugout is pumped up, and McCade Brown gives an ice-cold stare to the Penn State dugout. He is on fire. 6 strikeouts over the last 2 innings. He has struck out 8 out of the last 9 batters he's faced. 1-0, Hoosiers in front. On to the bottom of the 4th on BTN+.
Leading off the top of the 5th for Penn State, the shortstop, number 1, Jay Harry.
A major pitching duel is on our hands on this Saturday evening, and it has been fun to watch. McCade Brown, Connor Larkin have put on a show with a couple hundred fans here at Park Hoffman Field. First pitch swinging here by Jay Harry to short, and Mochaki to Fusey, 1 down, and McCade Brown's efficient day continues.
I think the game plan right there for Harry was literally just to put the ball in play, as McCade Brown had 7 strikeouts in a row going back to the second inning, and all 10 of his strikeouts came within a span of 12 batters, so 10 of 12 sat down by the punch-out, ends the streak with the ground out there, but still looking very good, very efficient on the bump.
Williams takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. It did almost feel like a victory there for Penn State after being 8 of 9 batters were struck out. The last end around through the Penn State lineup. 0-2. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a 1-1, so that's a 1-2. Brown, the native of Normal, Illinois, home of Illinois State. Swung on and missed in the dirt. Southern thought he tagged him out. Penn State saying he didn't. Southern didn't throw down to first just to make sure. But Tim Caden said he held on. It never hit the dirt. This is not satisfying Rob Cooper. Let's take another look.
They were going to get the replay here, and it does bounce in the dirt. Did he tag him there is the question, and if he didn't tag him, then Williams has every right to be on first base, as if he's not touched, then he should be on first. Nonetheless, it will go down as a strikeout. The question is it going to count against Southern as a catcher error for not tagging him? And they do rule it as an out, so they must have got together and ruled Southern did tag Justin Williams. So another strikeout for McCade Brown. He's already 1 strikeout off of the total he tallied against Rutgers, and he did that in 7 innings of work. We're only here in the 5th.
Williams in the dugout with some words probably not suitable for our television audience. That might have been a tough call. I don't think Southern actually got him on the back. But there's no instant replay in collegiate baseball, at least yet, maybe in the future. Hendershot didn't go around there, so 1-1. Brown, ever since a shaky first inning where he walked 2, has been breezing through. Still yet to allow a base runner since the first.
Yeah, he really couldn't pick a better game to be going off either, with just a slew of scouts behind home plate. All of them seemingly have to have their eyes on McCade Brown and the show he's putting on today. As he has that breaking ball working, he floats another one in there for a strike.
2-2, and most often the curve comes with 2 strikes. See if Hendershot's ready for it. It is the curve, but it's low, and Hendershot is able to hold off a full count.
It almost looked like he was ready for it as he's able to hold off. Not something we've seen these Nittany Lion hitters do today. When that curveball's in the dirt, they're going after it, and they're missing badly.
The payoff from Brown, swung on and missed, and Brown just keeps on rolling through. He is making it look easy right now. 5 innings, no hits, 2 walks, no runs. Sophomore. Looks like he might be a star for the rest of the season right now in Bloomington. Maybe in the big leagues in the future. Still, 1-0 Indiana as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching Big Ten Baseball on BTN+. Top of the 6th, 1-0, Indiana in front, and McCade Brown back to work. What a performance it has been this evening for McCade Brown. 12 strikeouts through 5 innings, no hits allowed, and overall allowed just 3 base runners, I should say, 2 walks, and 1 hit batter. It was interesting talking to McCade a little bit earlier this week, and kind of asked him, where has all this come from as McCade gets ahead here 0-2 and struggled a little bit last year. 4 appearances, 9 strikeouts, gave up 6 runs, only in 4 innings pitched. Didn't have a great freshman year in 2019, dealt with some injuries. How have you developed so much? He credited a lot of it to the summer league. He was able to play in the Colonel's Collegiate League in his hometown in Normal. This is low, 2-2 to Curtis Robinson. Gabe Bierman, who we'll see tomorrow for Indiana, also was pitching there, so got to room with some teammates, got to stay in his own house and play summer ball, as there's another strikeout. Inside corner, and Brown with his 13th strikeout of the evening, so that will top his 12 strikeouts from last Saturday night.
Yeah, and the train just keeps on rolling here in Bloomington. 13 strikeouts. He's got more strikeouts than he did last time out in just under 2 innings less of work. So he's really got it going today, and big testament to McCade Brown, as we talked about it in the first game, but this is a Nittany Lions team that came in pretty hot in the Big Ten, had themselves a lot of hits. Their average was pretty high, and Brown doing his best to shut them down today. And, it's only a 1-0 game, so not a lot of run support from his team like they had in Game 1. So keeping this Nittany Lions offense off the board is going to be crucial for getting the victory here.
Leadoff hitter Gavin Homer in for Penn State. Without a hit in the second game, but he got nicked narrowly right on the elbow, I think, barely. And Homer was convinced he was hit. It took a little bit while for Tim Caton to make a choice, but I think Homer was so convinced you had to be certain, and it looked like it might have just hit his guard. Didn't even hit his elbow. So there's just the 4th base runner allowed by McCade Brown. Just to finish on talking about the Colonel's Collegiate League, played at the Corn Crib where Illinois State plays. His first pitch is fouled off by Matt Wood. Stayed in his own bed, got to hang out with his family, and he was dominant. 22 2/3 innings pitched against other collegiate players. .93 ERA, 50 strikeouts, and allowed just 5 hits over those 22-plus innings.
Yeah, and he's taken that dominance from the Collegiate League here to Bloomington so far this season with 25 strikeouts so far through not even completed 2 full games, and pitching from the stretch for the first time in a while. Hasn't allowed a base runner in a couple innings here, so we'll see if going from the windup to the stretch is going to have any effect on him.
Curveball got him.
I'm going to say it has no effect on him. He's right back where he started.
My goodness, 14 strikeouts for McCade Brown. And the later this game goes and the longer Brown stays dominant, we can start digging into the history books potentially for a historic outing for McCade Brown.
Yeah, it's only the 6th inning. His pitch count is starting to get closer to 100, and once you start getting to the century mark is when you start worrying about your pitcher.
And now we got Homer in a rundown, a little pickle, and that will make the pitch count a little easier. A rare base runner, Homer caught in a rundown, and that ends the top of the 6th. McCade Brown, 6 innings, no hits allowed, just 4 base runners, and the Hoosiers lead 1-0. What happened here, Steven?
Well, it looked like Homer was trying to get a big lead, potentially trying to steal a base, and McCade Brown, stepped off the mound, got him taking a few extra steps towards second base, and able to get himself out of the inning. Doesn't have to throw another pitch to get the 3rd out. That's going to help with the pitch count going into the 7th inning of work for him.
Yeah, Brown is at 14 strikeouts. There has not been an Indiana Hoosier that has struck out 15 batters since March of 2000. That was Brad Edwards against Quinnipiac on March 17th of 2000. That was before I was born. So McCade Brown is 1 strikeout away from historic territory. We will see if he comes back out here for the 7th inning. If you're in charge, if you are Justin Parker in this case, Steven, are you bringing Brown out for the 7th inning?
100% he's coming back out because he hasn't been in that much trouble. And the one thing you look at for a pitcher when they're getting into the later innings and their pitch count starts to grow up is how much of those pitches are pressure pitches. And in this game, not really any of them. He had a little bit of trouble in the 1st inning with some base runners, got out of that, and since then there's been no more than 1 runner on base at a time, so he hasn't been really pressured in this game. A lot of his pitchers are coming from the windup. He looks very comfortable out there, cool, calm, collected. This is actually the best case scenario you can imagine for Justin Parker taking over as head coach for this weekend and next weekend. Is
Leading off the top of the 7th, Penn State center fielder number 22, Johnny Piacentino.
Top of the 7th, and the sophomore righty McCade Brown back on the hill. Hoosiers lead 8-0, and it has been a special evening for Brown. First pitch taken a little bit high, 14 strikeouts, trying to become the first IU pitcher since 2000 with 15 Ks. That one's fouled away by Piacentino. 8-0 as it was a 1-0 game the last time Brown was on the mound. 30 minutes later, the Hoosiers played 7 runs. Turn this game on its head. Sails a little high. 4 base runners allowed on the day by Brown. He walked the first 2 batters. He walked the 2nd and 3rd batters in the 1st inning he saw. And you were thinking there might be some concern for Brown, who struggled with control, as there's a nasty curve 2-2. But since that inning, he has struck out all 14 batters and hit a batter. That is it. Swung on and missed, and there is strikeout number 15. McCade Brown into the history books with strikeout number 15. The first Indiana pitcher since 2000 to strike out 15 batters in a game.
Yeah, he's done it with the curveball. He did it again right there. Piacentino just swinging right through it, and that he's with some very good company up there. And we've had some good IU pitchers come through in the years, and none of them have reached 15 Ks. You had Paulie Milto, who's up in 2nd on the all-time strikeout list for IU. He never did it. Andrew Salfrank, the Big Ten pitcher of the year a couple years ago, he never did it either. Now McCade Brown ended that record column now with 15 and has a chance. Not sure if he'll go past this inning, but with 2 outs, he has a chance to at least get 1 more on that tally.
98 pitches thrown for Brown, 15 strikeouts, as allowed only 3 base runners. So I was saying 4, but it's 3. 2 walks, 1 hit batter. 2 of those were in the first inning. He's been darn near perfect since that first. Braden Scott is warming up in the bullpen for Indiana. Swung on and missed. What a nasty pitch there.
Back with the dirty stuff. He's kind of mixing up his pitch selection, which is what is keeping these Nittany Lions hitters on their heels. Sometimes he starts them off with the fastball, and there's another ball in the dirt. That ball bounced a couple feet in front of home plate, and still he got Josh Spiegel to swing at it. And Josh Spiegel's a good hitter. So when you get a hitter like that swinging at that, you really know you're onto something.
Here's pitch 101 from McCade Brown. The 0-2 swung on and missed. 16 innings, 7 strong. He has allowed just 3 base runners, none of them by a hit. That might do it for the evening for McCade Brown, but it has been a historic, spectacular evening for the righty from Normal, Illinois.
If that does it for his day, what a day it has been. 16 strikeouts. I don't have a tally on how many have been via the curveball, but it has to be a good majority of them. As we're going to get to the 7th inning stretch here, something we didn't get in the first game, but an absolute clinic, and it is a real honor to be in the presence of history going on here at the BART.